أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. In this 5th video episode, discussing and urging the Muslim Ummah to follow the instructions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that seeking education is obligatory and compulsory on every Muslim and a believer. It's an effort. You will be rewarded, and yet the greatest reward, because without education, where could have been the children of Israel? They will never have migrated from Palestine to the area between two lava tracks with palm trees. Look at the bill of education. Therefore, the saying that seeking education is obligatory and compulsory, even if you are to go to China, the practical example is definitely was from the children of Israel. I discussed briefly on Imam Malik. It's another Mazhaba that is very, very important in my country, Nigeria, and North Africa, and probably the whole of Africa except probably Egypt, I don't know. I'm not saying that you have to know about him, but I think as you grow older, you should know about what our predecessors did and who they were. As I said, if you want to know the truth, there's something shady about Imam Malik. I'm not interested. Let us forget about it. If you check Tabaqat al-Kabir, he is placed as number 570 of the students of the Sahabas, post-Sahabas in Medina, out of total of 620. Where were the rest of 569? Now, Ibn Abi Zi'ba is number 569 in the catalogue of Tabaqat al-Kabir. He was born 80 after Hijrah and died 159 after Hijrah in the 5th grade. Imam Malik in the 6th grade was number 1. Rawaha Bakiran is number 568 in the 5th grade. His date is not given. Abu Gushni, also number 568, was born 63 after Hijrah and died 168 after Hijrah. So what I'm trying to draw your attention is whether you believe or not. It's not important. It's not an examination question that will lead you to paradise. It's distorted to call him a tabi'i, because as we explained, the last Sahaba to die in Medina was Sahal ibn Sa'ad ibn Malik Ansari, 88 after Hijrah, but was reported to have died in Baghdad. Then in that respect, The last Sahaba was Jabir ibn Abdullah, who died in 78 after Hijrah. Therefore, the first question is, Imam Malik is not a tabi'i, it's about tabi'in. No argument. If you read about his history, I don't know from which source, but in Tabaqat al-Kabir, in the other textbooks, he clearly emphasized, especially in Al-Itisam by Shatibi. Shatibi is a Maliki, but look at him disagreeing with him on so many occasions. He said, it is not scholarship. And to be a scholar, permitted to make fatwa, you must have read extensively. The number of scholars you are supposed to cover is not mentioned, but you have to know at least those that are constantly mentioned in your own area of jurisdiction. What they did, what they said, when they lived, so that you will be able to tell the truth. Where after the truth, not fairy tales and hearsay, just learning through overhearing, by listening. No, it is an effort. You must make your effort. So what we are saying is that the truth is that he never agreed that it is enough for you to rely on someone to push you to paradise. You must make your own personal effort. As I explained, that the darurat min ad-din al-rasul is compulsory. You don't have to, for example, recite Surah Al-Baqarah during Fajr prayer, 187 to 190. It's not compulsory. But I did it. I have been doing it. Rasulullah did it. Abu Bakr did it. That is what is important. You should know. Then there is choice and a privilege. If you can do it, do it. If you can't do it, it's not easy to recite 287 verses. In Fajr prayer, you can't do it during the winter. It's cold. So what are we after? Please let us use the opportunity of loving. Let us humble ourselves. And the humility means you read. And after doing whatever you did, ask Allah that it is not part of Ra'i, just to be seen by the angels. That is another dangerous parameter we are in. You don't know whether your devotion has been accepted, or Allah will say you are doing it out of Ra'i. That is left for Allah to decide on me, not anybody else. So my brothers, he never agreed. And this is what he says. It is not befitting for someone to abandon the hadith of Muhammad Rasulullah in preference to the statement of someone, whoever that one is, and whatever position that one holds in the Muslim Ummah. He never accepted asking questions that are under darurat min din Rasul waqi'ah. That is what you are supposed to do at that particular time. The most important is the obligatory prayer 5 times daily. Certainly, I already said, he said you must make effort to get extra credit in order to enter paradise. He abhorred asking questions based on issues dealing with fardiyah, speculations of hypothesis. This is actually the mantle what is sitting across the mercantile of the Muslim Ummah, asking questions irrelevantly. You are not performing that particular act. Why should you ask questions on it? Tawheed, all these things are unnecessary. Allah is one. You know that there is nothing, there is no atom in which Allah is not present. He was extremely cautious on what to say when asked on an issue, and hardly ever said anything unless he is sure of that particular issue has been discussed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or commanded and explained by his Sahaba. It's always, I don't know. An important issue on the caliphate, he said, tyrants could gain an upper hand only when the Muslim Ummah is divided and disorganized. Especially today, he's telling the truth as if he is alive. With us today, we are disorganized and divided. Each party clinging to what it believed to be the Sunnah. This was the case during his time, as is today in most Muslim countries, including Nigeria. Imam Malik had to stay neutral, neither with the authority nor with the incompetent ulama and their ignorant followers, no call for an uprising against the authority during the Umayyad tyranny. Under such conditions, one is therefore bound to run away from the Ummah and be on his own, abiding by the injunctions of the Holy Apostle, as he explained to Mu'adh ibn Jabal, that take your sheep and go to mountain top and then obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Fulani herdsmen, what are you going to do? Imam Malik was highly disappointed by the Muslim Ummah of his time, who failed to take heed of his advice and the fatwa to run away from tyrants. They went on supporting and eulogizing the tyrants in every facet in the walk of life, accepting their tyranny as an adal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Good deeds, righteousness, justice, neither, what shall I say, not a zalim. Their facade, disobedience, as a salahan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala caused it. Therefore, he must send angels to remove it, not anybody else. لو كان في الأرض ملائكة يمشون مطمئنين لنزلنا عليه من الملائكة رسولا رسولا. Look at this. He declared that it's not allowed for a believer in Allah and His Apostle to live in a territory of Maghsub, where the Sharia is not practiced and the Sahabas are insulted. We are far away from the reality. Definitely, he was reported not to be attending to congregational prayers, lectures, although this was attributed to his urinary incontinence. Whatever it is, go and read about Ard Maghsuba. It is there in Surah, I think, Kahfi. So my brothers, in addition, he says, the book of Allah is supreme. The Sunnah of the Holy Apostle, narrated from Ashaba, Tabi'i, or from anyone without attaching any string to it, should be accepted. He believed in accepting a simple narration from Ashaba. The actions of the people of Medina, the Thadiu, is to be accepted as authority, correct, but not in his time. Definitely. So my brothers, let us further understand the situation. Medina was the city that harbored the 7 renowned muhaddithin. Sa'id ibn Musayyab died 94 after Hijrah. Qasim ibn Muhammad died 108 after Hijrah. Urwa bin Zubair died 94 after Hijrah. Kharija bin Zayd died 100 after Hijrah. Salma bin Abdurrahman died 94 after Hijrah. Ubaidullah bin Abdullah ibn Utbah died 99 after Hijrah. Sulaiman bin Yasar died 103 after Hijrah. Now, 7 of them only. From which period? Let us say in Medina, 78 after Hijrah. When Jabir ibn Abdullah died, only 7 out of the rest of the population. What you don't know is the Muwatta of Imam Malik was discovered, I think, about 900 after Hijrah, or something 900 during the time of Suyuti. He was the one who discovered it accidentally, like the discovery of the Torah by Hilkiah, I think. That's why it is not included amongst the important books of leading to understand the Sunnah. It's only tribal and inadequacy and making people subservient by force that made Malik separate to West Africa. And Africa, read about it. It's not a lie. Shu'aib Hassan Abdul Ghaffar, in his book Criticism of Hadith Among Muslims, with reference to Sunan Ibn Majah, as I said, published 1986, said on page 22, out of 1,720 hadith in Muwatta, only 600 hadith are to be held as musnad, i.e., with an interrupted isnad to the Holy Apostle. 600, only 600. Covering what? Islam. That means in each pillar 150, divided by necessity, maybe 1 in each, or 2. Because repetitions. I have the book of Muwatta written by my father. Whenever I read it, I understand why we were wrong. But may Allah forgive us. Let us read to intercede for our parents and relations. If they would listen to us, if they were alive. The remainder were either al-Mursal, 222, Mawquf, 613, or sayings of the successors, 285. So my brothers, this is what I want you to understand. Compare this with the number of hadith, the Musnad of Ibn Hanbal, Ahmed, about 27,000 hadith. So why the authority? If actually the 600 hadith explained everything, then those 27,000, they're irrelevant. You don't have to read the Musnad of Imam Ahmed, because that is the extract. You see, in pharmacology, it is not the size of the tablet. No, there's something we call active ingredient. The active ingredient is the substance of cure. Not anything, not 250 milligrams, or 500 milligrams, or 1,000 grams. No, the active ingredient, maybe 5 milligrams, 10, 15. That is the substance, that is the matter. So after unnecessary discussions, what is the substance for the correction? If you read more, a lot of mistakes, well, a lot of underreportings, because they might have fallen into mursal, mawquf, definitely, because those are contestable hadith, although as he said, accept it without any criticism. So I don't know what you want me to further emphasize. That there is a bit of confusion, deception, simply because generally we don't have the resources, we don't have the base. I mean, you must have finances to do everything. Yes, our parents pay our education, they clothe us, maybe it was 2 or 3. You don't have to have a lot of clothes, shoes. I have only 2. But you see, this education is not easy. Because Allah will ask you, what did you do with the opportunity I gave you to improve on your choice of paradise, especially as-salat. So you see, if you don't have the means, then why do you know how will you know the truth? How will you shift the truth from falsehood? While you are certainly under the influence of tribalism and arrogance, nobody knows except your own class of people. So those who are actually insisting on having a teacher, I think they are totally wrong. Please let them do their best to know who to follow if they don't have the means, and if they have the means not to follow anybody else after learning basic Arabic language at the retirement. As for Imam Ahmed, read his own hadith. Imam Shafi'i, his own is special. He divided his book, Risala, into 3 or 4 sections. The first section, what Allah commands. The second section, what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explains. There's no difference between the explanation of Rasulullah and the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third, the Sahabas, their own editions, usually supplications. And what one knows, he reported. What the other does not know what was reported by another Sahaba. So that is the crux of the meaning of Mazhaba. The first, Abu Hanifa never left any document, but only assumptions from his so-called students. Even his most popular student, Abu Yusuf, wrote on Kitab al-Kharaj. I have 2 copies of that in Arabic and English. And not only Abu Yusuf wrote on Kharaj, there are others. Okay, that Imam Malik is not a tabi'i, about tabi'i. It was during their time that Islam kept on sinking. He never had any experience with a caliph. Likewise, Imam Shafi'i, likewise Imam Ahmed. But we have to understand that they were vocal and they wanted to save the Sunnah. But that doesn't mean that they did everything. It's only Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam first 10 years, then Abu Bakr and Umar, then Usman ibn Affan. But we know what happened to Ali. He was rejected on the basis of Tawheed, who is your authority. And this is what we are still experiencing from 37 after Hijrah to today. My brothers, أَلَمْ يَأْنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنْ تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَمَا نَزَلَ مِنَ الْحَقِّ وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ وَطَالَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْأَمَدُ وَقَسَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ وَكَثِيرٌ مِنْهُمْ فَاسِقُونَ. This verse was revealed immediately after the Hijrah. What was its asbab al-nuzul? What was its asbab al-nuzul? What did Allah see? Small youths. The faith is yet to be settled, to be precipitated, for every alpha protein to take it and permeate the body. They were laughing and cracking jokes. How many of them? Was Abdullah ibn Abbas included? What of Aisha? Because there was a report that she was playing drums and so on during a. So look at this. Not the time come. We remember Allah. We refer everything to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That is humility. Khushu. لذكر الله. Look at the favor Allah did to us. From migrated from Mecca to Medina, and they were looked after. ولا تكونوا كالذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبل. Like the Jews, like the Levites. It's referring to the Levites, not to the Jews in the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. The Levites. The beauty, the benefits, everything is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's not be like them. You understood what is the Sunnah. Now you rejected it. Look at from 37 after Hijrah to today. Why the Caliph? Why the leader in his own mosque observing the 5 obligatory prayers and then the Jumu'ah prayer? He must have a mosque, otherwise forget about calling yourself Muslims. You are not. You are only a Muslim in your house, but not as an ummah. My brothers, I will wait here. Then it's left for you to think, or else we shall meet on the day of judgment. Assalamu alaikum.